So I was just watching videos about the Logan Paul drama and people like reacting to it. And this is so good. People are finally having this conversation of like being a role model and having an influence on the internet, and like we need to think about the stuff that we're putting out and how it's affecting people, and like when kids are watching our videos, like what are you saying? No one has talked about this in so long. So I'm really glad that people are finally pointing this out and becoming aware, like waking up to it. That's really good. But then I feel like people are like, I'm not doing this for views. And it's like, I think people need to be better role models, blah, blah. And I'm like, look at the rest of your channel before you just say this and go off on a rant about people need to think about the content they're producing. Look at the content you're producing. Look at how you can just say, like, I genuinely care about the future of YouTube and the children that are watching it and all this stuff. And whatever. It's just so obvious they're capitalizing on this for views because they don't care about being a role model. Because look at every video you posted right before this one. They're so inappropriate and so many awful things that you're putting into children's brains as you're doing a rant video about what you're putting into children's brains. I mean, go beyond just, oh, I've never filmed myself next to a dead guy. Okay, that's great. That's an awful thing to do. But what about everything else that you're doing on your channel? And like, think about the music you're promoting and the language you're using. The way you talk about women, the way you talk about like issues in the world, and the way that like, just awkward to go off on this topic. So like, there's your video on your channel, and people, do you realize like people can literally go through your list of uploads and see if you mean what you say or not, because there's all your content right there. Look at your titles, look at your thumbnails. How, like, don't post that. You're opening yourself up for so much criticism. But then there's the other angle of like, okay, even if they don't live what they say or whatever, like at least they're saying it. I really appreciate that. This is a really good conversation to have, like I said. And you know, you guys know, like I met Logan Paul over the summer. Like I've liked him, I've watched his videos and stuff, but like this is not cool. I can't get behind this. And like I know what his content is. I'm not stupid, you know, and I've been watching it like for my own enjoyment. But then I watch these videos, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about this, like kids taking this in. Like I have like a developed brain, and I can watch something and say, I'm not going to go do that. But kids watch it and go, oh, like that's so cool. Like money and Rolexes and there's so many bad things in these videos. And yeah, I didn't really think about that, even though I'm aware, like it is like all kids watching it. Like when I grew up, it was like all kids watching Disney Channel, and it was so filtered and clean. And now like kids are consuming this level of like explicit stuff. All that to say is, first of all, I cannot get behind or promote any of the stuff that Logan Paul does on his channel. And like what I watch in my own private time, that's one thing. But I've like met him and I've talked about him publicly a few times, and like I was kind of a fan like last year, and I've like posted pics with him, and I don't want people to think that like, oh, like this is least similarly approved. Like he's great, his stuff is okay or whatever. Like I don't know him as a person, I can't comment on his personal life, but like his channel is not okay for children to watch. And like I'm waking up to that now, because like I'm not just thinking about myself and like me watching it, but thinking about young impressionable minds taking in that kind of content, and like materialism and so many issues. That's just like, phone started dying at the end. Anyway, I wanted to say that I don't approve of that or promote that, and I want to make that really clear, and I'm not going to talk about that anymore. And second, I really hope that all the people that are making videos and talking about like being a role model, like, okay, after your little video gets a couple million views on this topic, like I hope you don't just move on to the next thing. Like actually think about the things that you've said and like what you're promoting. Like when you do something and you have followers and stuff, like those people do it too. And like think about the example you're setting, and not just like, oh, okay, I won't say bad words, or I won't talk about this thing badly. Like think about the way you live your life and like the lifestyle you're promoting, and like being a meaningful human being that is fulfilled and putting good things into the world. Does that make sense? Beyond just saying, I'm about being positive. Smile today. Some people don't want to smile. They're sad, okay? Like that's not enough. I'm going to end with this. It's not just about not posting the bad things. It's about posting good things. And beyond posting, like, even if you don't have a huge following or a big influence, you know, when you're living your life the way that I used to, which is just, oh, I don't want to ever do anything bad. And I don't want anyone to see me do anything bad. And even my own time, I don't want to do anything bad, right? But then it's like, what about not just not putting out bad things, but about putting out good things and like meaningful, thought-provoking, productive things with a message, and like talking about things that need to be talked about. Like, look at your channel, you know, oh, I made a 10,000 pound jelly bath or whatever. That doesn't really harm anyone. It's not negative. But is that all that you're doing? Or are you using that once in a while, you know, to talk about something that matters and like use your influence to influence other people? And if you don't have anything to say, like, maybe start thinking about that. Maybe start like growing your mind more and like reading books and like consuming. My phone's gonna die. Your life matters, your story matters, your influence matters. The things that you do affect the people around you. People listen to you. People do things because you do them. Whether that's one person, you know, your younger sibling or your friend, or that's millions of people. Your influence matters, your time is valuable, and we should all think about that more. That's all I have to say. Go do a photo shoot for my new hair color, but I wanted to say one more thing about this whole Logan Paul story that I've been on today. I just watched that and realized I forgot to put my necklace on. Anyway, if you watched my whole story and you're just like, yeah, I'm so glad you like publicly denounced Logan Paul, like he's trash, blah, blah, blah. If that's all you got out of it, like you missed the whole point. Cause like, I don't know, personally, I don't like publicly roasting people or tearing people apart for stuff that they did, whether I'm a fan of them or I hate them. Like on my own private time, that's one thing, but I don't like publicly speaking out against people. I want to talk about like the whole topic that it's bringing up and like everything that everyone's been talking about and all the people that are talking about it. Like it's such a bigger picture than just Logan Paul. Okay. Like I'm glad actually that this whole thing spurred this conversation that we've really needed to have, but it's not even about Logan Paul. Like it's about so much more than that. And in my opinion, it even goes beyond setting an example or being a role model for others. Like I'm really talking about like, at this point, like, look in your own life, you know, like, the people you're watching, okay, are they being a good role model for others, blah, blah. But what about, like, how are they affecting you? Like, do you feel like the way that you're living your life, do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel, like, truly happy? Do you feel like your life is meaningful and you're contributing to the world and you feel seen and you feel valuable and you feel connected to the people around you? Like, it's about, hold on. That's something I'm thinking about lately as I'm thinking about being a role model, like for others on the internet and in person with my friends and my family. It's like, it really starts within you and how you actually feel and the life that you're actually living, like things that you don't tell people about, like your inner world. Are you okay? Forget what anyone else thinks, forget what anyone else is going to do because of you, which is important, but first you need to ask yourself if you're even happy and you even feel good about yourself and your life. And then you look at the people you're watching, the people you're following, like as an example, and the things that you're doing in your day, and it's not even about good person, bad person, who's right, who's wrong. It's like, is this positive for you or not? Like, is your life going in a good direction because of the things that you're doing and consuming and the people that you're following and whatnot? Or is it not? The example you're setting for yourself is terrible and it's like bringing you down and every day is just like a struggle to get through. Like, forget how you're even affecting other people. Start with yourself. Be a role model for yourself. Be the kind of person you want to follow. And like this applies to the role model and the follower, you know, the person in the public and the consumer, because we are all role models at the end of the day for, you know, one person or 100 million people. Does that make sense? That's really my whole point. It's like the example you're setting for others, the example you're setting for yourself. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm rambling, but yeah. I'm going to go do my photo shoot now, and I will share those pictures with you later. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thank you to everyone that likes my new hair color, which includes me. I am obsessed with it. Okay.